Hello, my dear students. Welcome back to the series of Western political thought. Our first thinker is Plato, and we are going to discuss the lecture number 6 related to Plato. So, in this lecture, we are going to discuss the theory of communism, which is given by him. This is also called the half communism or the communism of wives and property. So, let us see why it is called so. So, in the theory of justice, in lecture number, I think in lecture number third or fourth, I told you that Plato divided the society into three parts. Ruling class, they were the people with dominating reason. After that, warrior class, they were the people with dominating spirit and courage. And the third one is the producing class. They had the dominating appetite or desire. So these were the three classes in the society, and the first two classes were known as the guardian class. The ruling class and warrior class combining together was known as guardian class, and all the responsibility of states were given to this guardian class. So in simple words, the theory of communism or the scheme of communism is that the guardian class were not allowed to have the private family or to have a private wife and to have the private property. So this is the theory of communism. So the second question arises, why it is called the half communism. It is called half communism because each and every person, each and every individual of society is not included in the scheme of communism. Why? Because the scheme of communism was only for the ruling class and the warrior class, together called the guardian class. The scheme of communism was not for the producing class. The producing class were excluded from this theory of communism. The third question is why the Plato is doing so. Why Plato is not permitting to have the wife and the private property for the guardian class. So the answer is to sustain the ideal state. To sustain the ideal state. I told you the ultimate purpose of Plato is to establish an ideal state. So if the ideal state would be established on the basis of theory of justice and on the scheme of education by the philosopher king. So if the guardian class will indulge themselves or resort to the corruption, the ideal state would decay ultimately. In order to protect the ideal state, in order to sustain the ideal state, and in order to prohibit the ruling class and warrior class so that they could not resort to corruption, he introduced the theory of communism that both guardian class and ruling class will be not allowed to have the private family and private property. So I think it is clear. Now we will discuss slide by slide. So how to write the answers if the question comes in your examination. Right. So this is the structure of the course on Plato in which we are discussing our sixth lecture. So if you want to access our previous lectures, so you can go to the description box, the link of playlist is given. You can access all the videos from there. So let us start. So as I told you, it was only for the guardian class in the society, ruling class and the warrior class. Okay. So these things I told you, you can read these slides. These slides are same as I told you. Okay. So the Plato is in favor that the guardian class should not be allowed to keep the private property and private family in order to prevent corruption in the society and the state machinery, right? So what is the communism of property? It is simple that the guardian class will not allow to have the private property. They are also not allowed to amass the goods. They are only allowed to have the minimum goods which are for the daily uses, and that too will have to be shared by all. Means all the people in the guardian class will share all the goods. They will have only the minimum goods. They do not have the permission either to amass the goods for the daily uses, right? No private property will be allowed for this class. As I told you, they will live together and they will eat from the common kitchen. So if we can observe Unlike today's modern society, Plato was not in favor to give the privileges to the ruling class and warrior class. Today, our army, today our minister, presidents, prime minister, they are getting the privileges. But Plato was not in favor. He was just opposite of the modern society. He was in the favor that they should not be allowed to have the private family and private property in order to protect them so that they could not indulge into the corruption, right? And the communism of wives, that no private family is allowed, all the guardian class, whether male or female, will be separated from the normal population. In simple word, they will be separated from the producing class, and there will be group marriages. Everyone will be either a common husband or a common wife, and all the children who will born through such marriages will be separated from their families, and they will be ultimately brought up by the state. The state will give them education and the training. So therefore, no children will be knowing the identity of their parents, and no parents, no individual will be knowing the identity of their child. So in such way, there will be no experience of familial bond. And if there will be no experience of familial bond and any emotional attachment for anybody, everybody will be devoted only to the state, and the state will be the common parent of everyone. There will be no logic or need in amassing wealth, since they can't use themselves, and there will be nobody to inherit it after one's death, right? So they will not resort to the corruption. But as I told you, Aristotle is the greatest critique of Plato. And likewise, he also criticized Plato's theory of communism, of wives and property. According to Aristotle, so the Aristotle was the greatest disciple of Plato, as I told you in the previous video also. But he was also the very big critique of his master. So about private property, Aristotle told that private property is not evil. In fact, it is the source of motivation. Plato has by mistake ignored the good aspects of private property. Okay, private property also provide the evidence and recognition to the efforts of a person. If a person is rich, if a person has a huge wealth, so how he has the huge wealth? Because of the efforts which he made in his life. So private property is the evidence and recognition to the effort of a person. So private property is not always bad, right? Those who have the private property are more concerned with the stability, because if there will be private property of someone and there would be revolution or chaos like situation, the people with private property, they are in the situation to lose the most. The person who do not have the property, he will not care about the chaos or the revolution because he has nothing to lose. But the person with private property has many things or everything to lose, right? So it is also important for the stability, because the person who are with property, they are more concerned about the stability, okay, and order in the political system, because they stand to lose most in the scenario of chaos and revolution. And property leads to the possibility of charity, according to Aristotle. If there will be property to someone, then only he will give the charity. Without property, a poor person cannot give the charity, right? And Aristotle is also critical of his communism of wives. Okay, he believes that taking away one's family is more bad than having the family itself, according to Aristotle. Aristotle said that man is a social animal and he is not a beast who can live by itself, right? Plato's idea would take us to the barbaric time when each man had to fend for his daily survival. We will revert back to the Paleolithic age, according to Aristotle, and I think Aristotle is right. Family also provide the emotional stability during the time of distress. So family is important. And lastly, Aristotle is saying that the family and the property, if they would have been bad or they would have been so wrong, then they would have been perished along in the history. But the family and property both are the historically tested institutions, so they are surviving till now. If they would have been bad, then they would have been decayed a long ago, right? So these are the criticism of the Plato's theory of communism. I hope you understood the concept. I hope you understood the crux. And if there will be questions, the way I prepared the slide, just write in the same way, you will get the good marks. Okay. So thank you. Have a nice day. If you liked my video, please give a thumbs up. Please share with your friends and don't forget to subscribe. So we will meet with another video on Western political thought.